player for the D Tigress. Also, now a basketball analyst joins us from Lagos. Teresa Mark Dangozu joins us from Lagos. Teresa, we had wanted to get to when the D Tigress won the Afrobasket. I know you are quite a busy schedule, but I'm happy you're on the show this morning. So let's start from that, the D Tigress, before we come to the men. Let me get your thoughts on the D Tigress winning that title in Ivory Coast recently. Their 5th straight title.
The D Tigress, thank you so much for having me once again. This is Samuel. The D Tigress winning the Afrobasket for the 5th consecutive time is something to be proud of. I mean, we have been celebrating them from the last day they played that game till today, and OON, or have you, right? And they've gone home $100,000 richer. So that is something to be proud of. And like we saw Amy's interview yesterday, she spoke so highly of her teammates, spoke so highly of her team and all the support that they've been getting from the federation, which, you know, is something that I think it's a thing of joy, and we are super, super proud of them. Now, we are here with the men, and we'll see what they get to do in the Afrobasket as the games kick off today.
Yeah, definitely. 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, our first game against Madagascar. You've seen the list, the final 12. You follow the preparation of the team also for this tournament, or the non-preparation, depending on what you are looking at. Share your own thoughts with us on that list and how this team has been prepared for this Afrobasket. Are you really confident what you've seen so far that we can go all the way in Angola?
Well, when it comes to my confidence, I mean, I don't think it will have so much to do with the confidence of the players that are on the team, right? And one thing that I know for sure is that professional basketball players always stay ready. You know, they always prepare, they always get ready for the competition, because you can be called at any time, right? By a team or even by the country. So that's one thing that's certain. But then the lack of proper preparation always by the Nigerian team. Even with the female team, we saw it that they only had, 6 days in Abuja. And the guys barely had even up to 3 or 4 days in Abuja to prepare as well, or in Lagos. But here we are, and the guys are already here. The games are starting today, so there's no time. And honestly, the team rosters has been inconsistent over the years. And I heard you both mentioning, you know, the different players that we would have loved to see on the team, but are not here. But these are the players we have here, and some of them have really great records that they've done many things in basketball so far throughout the years. And we have some players that, you know, we saw in the BAL that ended, like Caleb Agada, who was with the Al Tripoli team that won the championship, and he's also on BAL first defensive team. He made that, and we've seen other players also who participated. I'm talking Divine Ekpe with the Dakar team, right? So we have some names, and of course Joshua Koji, who is of the Houston Rockets and is playing, still coming back to play for the national team. So we just hope for the best, I would say. And like you already know, I mean, like to push for the positive angles of things, and we're hoping for the best, and we wish them the best in the Afrobasket. I mean, money is flying everywhere. Who doesn't want $100,000? So let's see what they do. Maybe they will also be beneficiaries of that.
Okay. Just before we let you go, in my own opinion, I feel strongly that we got away with one with the D Tigress. We didn't really prepare well, but we won the tournament anyway. For the D Tigers, hopefully we get away with it again and win. But what do you think about the future of basketball in Nigeria? What are the things really that you feel we need to urgently do, both for the men's and the women's game? The men's Premier Basketball League is about to start again, though, of course, a lot of issues around the NBBF and all of that. But in your own opinion, what do you think we really need to start doing to ensure that both our men's and our women's team can dominate the continent for a long time?
Well, the first thing I'm going to point at is a statement made by one of the chairmen of the basketball in Lagos. Mr. Pinheiro, he said something about the federation looking like the story building without a foundation. You know, how can that stand, right? That is not anything. Anybody that hears something like that should know that that's not a good thing. So basketball in Nigeria has always come from the grassroots, right? And if we look at the past years, we've always seen the national team with a lot of players coming from what we call the local leagues, coming from the home-based teams, right? And those players have been performing great. We have a lot of great leagues that have come from playing from home, and then we have players also who we brought in from, you know, the international areas as well. And those players also came in and they did great. So basketball in Nigeria, when we grow the local leagues, then we can get to, you know, continue, because the local league is like the feeder team, right? It's like the feeder team. Yes, we get to bring in the international players, which is great because they come in and they bring in that other higher level of basketball, right? But then we still need the feeder team, because let's look at, for example, Ojana Musa is a player that came from local league. We did the championship, the Zenith Bank League, with what's it called, Air Warriors, and then moving to the national team, and then before you know it, she's playing in Spain and she's playing in France, and then she goes into the WNBA, right? So if we see, just imagine how many more players can come out if they had been given that opportunity. So we need to focus on other things that are also important. The international fund is important, it's great for us, but we also need the local league. So we can have more participation, we can have more engagement by the MBBF. If we can have that, players from the local leagues can continue to grow, they can continue to hope for the best, and talents will not waste, and will not have Nigerian players going out to play in countries that you used to come to play in Nigeria, like Togo, for instance. We used to have those players coming to play in Nigeria, and now we have those places. So we need to restructure the MBBF. We need to overhaul, you know, let there be somebody or people, I've mentioned this several times, who are passionate, people who have connections, people who know what they're doing in there, people who understand the business of sports, the business of basketball, come in, change the foundation the way that it is in the local league. That way, the front is looking good, which is the international, and the local league is also thriving. So we need a Nigerian basketball sector.
Okay, thank you so much, Teresa. I know that we can spend the whole day talking about the game of basketball. It's a game that you played for so many years. Now you are a basketball analyst. Thank you so much. Hopefully we get you again in the course of the competition. Do enjoy the rest of your day in the city of Lagos right there. Back to the studio now, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. You had a